Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of October 12 through 18. We're going to open up the energy of the reading today with the mouse spirit. Look at that, cutie. Tend to the small things. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I think this is going to be a good week for that. You know, maybe a good week for self-care. Maybe a good week for just sort of slowing down, paying attention to the details. You know, we're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread. We're going to use the Rider-Waite-Smith deck of tarot cards today. We've got, 9 of Wands, showing maybe we're getting to that point where we're starting to feel a little exhausted. You know, when your energy is really like stretched to the limit, it's kind of hard to pay attention to those little details. And when you're starting to feel a little run down, that's when we start making mistakes. You know, might be a good week to rest. We have a Tower, okay, for sure. We got a Devil energy. We have a 5 of Swords, but we have a Knight of Cups. And we have a King of Pentacles, an Ace of Pentacles, an 8 of Wands, a Page of Wands, and a Knight of Pentacles. I feel like you might be. You might like be in charge of a large group of people. I feel like there's a lot of other individuals around you right now. And I kind of feel like, you know, tending to the small things might not really be about slowing down at all. It might be that, look, things are actually feeling like they're picking up the pace for you. So it's very important that you pay attention to those small things right now, because it could be just a lot of busyness everywhere, that if we're not vigilant, we're not attentive, we are going to miss something. Okay, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, as we look around the room, we see major arcana cards. We see fire and fire and fire. A little bit of water, a little bit of air. And we've got earth, and we've got earth, and we've got earth. Okay? So, you know, it's a little bit light on the water, and so I do feel like there is a need for some slowing down and a need for some self-care. The 9 of Wands is, it's feeling like tired. I think this is a week where, like, you know, you're feeling kind of like we're being stretched to the max. That something is kind of like it can't continue on this seriously for too much longer. So I feel that there is the recognition that very soon something's going to have to give, you know? I feel like you're kind of close to the end of a project or the end of a major effort. And when you feel like you're at the home stretch, we're going to want to just like maybe start to take it a little bit easier. We're feeling like, okay, well, we've already made it. I can be a little bit more lax. But I think like that mouse is saying like, you know, pay attention to those small things, because when you're on the home stretch, that's when things are the most critical. That's when we really have the chance to fumble and make some mistakes. Okay? I feel like a lot of you are very close to completing something, and as tired as you may be, you got to pay attention to those little things that could blow the whole thing. Right? Maybe a tower. Protect the progress that you've made. Hold strong against setbacks, using your mouse spirit, you know, by attending to those little things to make sure that all the progress, all this effort isn't just going to be for nothing, you know. This might be the final push before you get that success. Kind of a card that's saying, don't give up now. That Tower could be a breakthrough. And as long as we pay attention and we stay mindful, and we don't, you know, because again, when you're really tired, that's when you're going to make a lot of mistakes. So it's important that we keep ourselves vigilant right now. Protect your energy as well. You know, avoid burnout. So tending to the small things are kind of like saying, what do you need to do in your life in order to keep going, to reach that finish line? You need the self-care. You have to make sure you get enough rest, drink enough water, get enough food, in order to sustain this high level of effort. Because I think that we're just about there. We're just about at this breakthrough. No fumbling things right now, okay? To me, the tower is that breakthrough. Okay, the tower could also be like, look, if we miss something now, if we make some kind of silly mistake right now, everything we've done is going to just be like kind of ruined, right? So it's important that we pay attention. But I feel like this is also like your Nine of Wands. As tired as you are, you're almost done. So this is going to be a sudden change. This is going to be a release or a relief from all of this effort. Okay, this is a turning point. The tower is a pivotal moment in your life. To me, it's a breakthrough. To me, it's an exclamation point. It is what you've been waiting for. It's the moment of awakening, right? It's this, it's the final push that really breaks through the ceiling or breaks through the wall finally. Okay. And I think that this is a moment where your life is going to change forever. This is that turning point. This is that miracle that you've been pushing toward. This is the biggest win of your life, okay? And it's coming right on time. Like it couldn't be a moment sooner, because that Nine of Wands is like we're almost at the end of our capacity. We're almost out of gas. So thankfully that breakthrough is coming, but it's kind of like just push a little bit more. Don't fumble anything now. Don't give up now. Don't quit now. Tend to the small things. Because when you get to go from a 9 to a 10, that may feel like the biggest push, But it's also where the most mistakes can happen. Because the pathway gets very narrow at the end. Okay? So I think this is the moment where your life changes. This is an exclamation point. This is saying like a new life awaits you after this. All this hard work leading to a breakthrough. After the breakthrough, ease, flow, okay? Harvest. We've just got to keep going a little bit longer. Now you also have a devil card, of course. The devil card is sort of the engine of the car, It kind of feels like the devil card is when you feel like you're already out of gas, the devil card is that reserve gas tank that you have. Okay? And this is kind of like your desire for that breakthrough, for whatever the win is here for you, whether it's career, whether it's something at school, at home, in your creative work, or whatever goal you're trying to reach now, whatever you've been putting in all of this effort into. The devil is kind of like your discipline and your endurance to stay with it, to stay hungry. This is you charging up the mountain, knowing that the further we get up the mountain, the closer we get to the top, the narrow the mountain gets. And the more important it is that we stay focused, that we pay attention to all those little things. Now is where every footfall is going to be really critical. You've got to really watch every move you make. When you're at the bottom of the mountain, it doesn't matter so much. You can make mistakes, it's no big deal. But when you're at almost to the very top, every little footstep is like, critical move, okay? So I think the devil card is really that motivational force for you. It's that hunger that you feel to continue, driving up that mountain, paying attention to where you're putting your efforts, where you're putting your energy, okay? The devil card is also a card of we're kind of feeling like locked in on something. We feel that we got the blinders on, that we might be, you have to excuse my voice today too. I'm still getting over this congestion, so I apologize. It's kind of like we're going forward now just from sheer habit of the thing, just because that's where we've locked in. Yeah. And so I think this is a very good card for you right now because it is the engine of the car and it is down here beneath the surface. So we're utilizing this devil energy right now. Okay, which is kind of like this this fixation. It's almost an obsession with your goal right now. Yeah. And I think this is a card that's saying, you know what, pay attention to every footstep. Because every footstep is going to be absolutely critical for whatever your goals are in your life right now. The Five of Swords is over here too, okay? Which is, you know, we don't want to question everything. We don't want to be too distracted with conflicts and these little entanglements. We don't want to be caught up in any kind of drama that's going to distract us from paying attention to the things that we actually have to pay attention to. Okay, so we're picking our battles. We're trying to, you know, control our thoughts and where we're directing our energy. Five of Swords is, you know, it is that kind of conflict energy. It may be arguments that are driven by pride, okay, and arguments that are not worth the energy. So be mindful this week of where you're putting your energy. What battles you're engaging with that are distracting you from the things that actually matter. Okay? We need an honesty now. We got to let go of fights that are not helping you get to the summit of that mountain, get to that breakthrough. The elimination of all the unnecessary entanglements. Because what we want that Holy Grail, right? You want to get that Knight of Cups. You want to get to the top of that mountain. And to me, this feels like we're getting there. Okay, you're following what is inspiring you, and I think that you know, in some ways, the Knight of Cups it suggests romance. It doesn't need to be part of a romantic endeavor for you. Okay, but this is, you know, we're pursuing something that means something to us. You're searching for that Holy Grail, and I think that you're finding it. You're getting that breakthrough that's going to absolutely fulfill you. This is beauty and this is inspiration. And maybe that's the inspiration, that's the fuel for the engine, you know. This is what the devil is really after, you know, for you. And so this is you being led by your heart, okay? And you're staying balanced and you're staying very practical, but this is you, I think, like understanding why you have the goals that you have. Understanding why you're pursuing those things in life that you are. What is your dream? What is your hope, your wish? What are your goals? You know, what are you trying to manifest? This is you knowing why. This is your motivation, and this is, you know, this is why you're motivated. It doesn't matter what you're doing necessarily. What matters is how you're doing it and why. There has to be a very good reason why you're willing to put in a 9 of Wands level effort. So this is something that is going to uplift you. This is the achievement that is going to make you feel like you're on top of the world, you know? And this is that love. This is that beauty. This is that happiness. You've achieved what you've sought. Okay. So I think this is really beautiful. And for some of you, if you're looking for romance, I think this is a good time. This is a good time for that. You know, there might be a significant breakthrough in your relationship or in your love life right now that you've been looking for. And I think there is an end to that exhaustion. I think this is that final push where something is going to give way and there's going to be an opportunity to sort of relax, you know. But the King of Pentacles is a card of discipline. Yeah. And so we need to continue on this steady force. It's a fixed earth energy. It's a reliable builder kind of energy. So you're leading the expedition up that mountain. You have authority and wisdom. You have patience, especially with resources. You know that you're exhausted, but you still know that you have to do things the right way. And you know, like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. When you're that tired, you kind of just want to hurry up and get it done. This is the card that's saying, Steady as she goes. I can't hurry up and get it done just because I'm tired. I don't care how tired I am, I still have to do it the right way. Okay. So I think this is a week of kind of feeling that, feeling the exhaustion, but also having the discipline and the wisdom and the patience to say, I know I've got to do quality work. Success is going to come from your responsibility and your careful sort of planning. Success is going to come from your tending to the small things, not rushing through, cutting corners and looking for shortcuts because you're so tired. Okay? You are, I think, breaking through to some mastery of something. Some of you, this might be like school stuff. Some of you, it might be a skill or an art form. Some of you, it might be career, like, your business or your money. It could be romance and things too, although I'm not feeling that as much. Okay. Please hit the like button if you haven't yet, by the way. That really helps to push this video out to everybody that needs to find it. Now, I want to do one thing before we move on to the path of the serpent, and that is to consult one of these manifestation cards. And we'll talk about our Ace of Pentacles. Here we have guided steps. Oh yeah, look at that. Every step is very, very treacherous right now because look, you're walking on this maze of ledges. Trust the process even when your path seems blocked or unclear. Okay, keep moving forward, but pay attention to your steps because there's a lot of room. Look at this card. There's a lot of room for error up here. There's a lot of places you can make a misstep, you can fall, we can get turned around, we can get sort of lost in that maze. Okay. But tend to the small things, pay attention to your steps, and be very, very careful. The Ace of Pentacles now, sometimes this is a card of a new opportunity, okay, for some material gain, some kind of financial opportunity. It could be a seed of prosperity that you might be considering planting right now. This is the small, steady steps that are building long-term security, okay? And so this is saying be practical, be focused. It's not about quick wins. I think it's about you paying attention to the little steps, keep moving forward, pay attention to the small things, and you're going to reach your goal. You're going to get that breakthrough. This is going to be the biggest win of your life. It's going to be an overnight change. That's taken many, many, many steps to build and to get there. Don't fumble it now. Don't throw it all away by rushing, as tired as we might be spiritually or even physically. Just the small steps, the small, steady steps that are building long-term prosperity for you. Trust that the things that you've started, the seeds that you've planted now, are going to have lasting potential and that you can do it. You are very, very close to that sort of final step. And that last step is the most challenging one, but it's the most rewarding step. Okay. The Eight of Wands, is a card of rapid progress. It's a card that may say, like, you really want to just hurry up and cut corners. We may wish that we could, find a way to multitask and get everything done at once rather than having to do one thing at a time. I kind of feel like the Eight of Wands here is trying to tell you, like, don't rush. You may feel when you're that exhausted, but you know that the goal is right there, you might feel an impulse to start just running. Yeah. Spirit's saying slow and steady. Slow and steady. Resist the urge to speed up. When you're tired, you just want to drive home faster. Don't. Stay safe. Go the speed limit and all that good stuff. When you know you're at the end of the job, you kind of just want to rush through and cut corners and take the shortcuts because you want to hurry up and be done. This is saying don't hurry up and be done. Okay? This is, to me, it feels slow and steady. It feels right now it's not really a time for multitasking. It's not a time to try to do a million things all at once because it's faster, it's more efficient that way, right? If I could multitask, well, then I can get 10 things done in the space of an hour rather than just one thing, but sacrificing quality, sacrificing the attention to details and attending to the small things because we're trying to do all of them at one time. It's not a time for multitasking or for like batching things. It's a time for one step at a time, slow and steady, do it right, quality. That's going to lead to the breakthrough. That's going to lead to the leveling up or this big, big win. Okay? The actions that you have now are going to have extra power because I feel like all of your energy is on that one step. See, all these wands, all these javelins are going the same direction. You're putting all your attention into this step that I'm taking now. Okay, and then that one's done. Now I put all my attention into this step I'm taking now. You know, when you're very, very tired, it takes so much more effort just to focus on the one. It's like you're taping your eyes open. You're to focus on the one step that I'm taking because I don't want to drop anything. When you're tired, your coordination's off, you know? More likely to drop something. So this week, anyway, not a week for multitasking. It's not a week for trying to take shortcuts or cut corners. Okay? Resist the urge to rush. Yeah, but you know, the Page of Wands, I feel like there's an excitement here because I feel like there is this desire for exploration and for trying new things, and I feel like when you get the win, then I think it's a time definitely for multitasking, for creative thinking, and for experimentation, a playful, youthful energy here that's just learning and experimenting. There are new projects, very curious, exploring a lot of new ways to do something. But not until we get that breakthrough, not until we get that win. Because I think the win is going to allow you a lot of time to use this fire energy and to experiment with new ideas and to get excited about new stuff. Right now it's King of Pentacles. It's slow, steady, Ace of Pentacles, right? And then the fire energy can come in. Then we can get the 8 and the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands with the 8 of Wands, it's like you're throwing a bunch of irons in the fire. And you're throwing everything at the wall and just seeing what sticks. You're trying to do everything at once. Yeah, not right now. Maybe next week, not right now. You see what I mean? We have the Knight of Pentacles too, which is kind of looking into the future and seeing the goal, seeing the summit of the mountain, you know, and realizing that all the steps that we have taken have led to this moment. We don't want to throw it all away now by being careless or frivolous or reckless. The Page of Wands has a tendency to be a little reckless. Now's not the time for that kind of experimentation. Okay? Now's not a time to figure out what else might work. It's a time of sticking with what already does work and has worked, even though you're exhausted, you know, to take the last couple of steps. The Knight of Pentacles is also a card of slow and steady effort that's going to bring about that big win. Patience, reliable, responsible energy. You're building carefully. You're not rushing ahead. Your persistence is building lasting success. You are building something that is stable and long-term. Okay? And it's probably something financial or something, you know, it's something concrete. Your practical, grounded choices right now are leading you to that goal. And that's the message. And it's very clear. Yeah, let's look at our mystery card and see what this might confirm for us. I want this to be a card of celebration. I want this to be a 9 or a 10 of Pentacles or Cups, a 3 of Cups, an Empress. I mean, any of these celebration cards. A 6 of anything I think would be good right now. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. By the way, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, okay? Let's see what we have. 3 of Swords. So it's kind of saying, like, we're not celebrating now. Don't celebrate until you cross the finish line. Because again, that's part of this 8 of Wands, Page of Wands, celebrating too soon. And that's when we fumble. That's when we make a misstep. That's when we break our own hearts. Okay, so right now we have to keep our emotions contained. We've got to keep our heart under control right now so that we don't get disappointed. Okay? And this is kind of like we're really feeling the stress, really feeling the exhaustion. We have to continue to do a good job. The celebrating will come after. Okay, we don't want to celebrate now, because that's like the person who's running the marathon and they start celebrating when there's still 100 yards to go. And they're celebrating and waving to the crowd and stuff, and then someone comes zooming behind them and they get the win. Or we're just celebrating now and waving at the crowd and we trip. And we lost. So that's, I think, what this card is saying. It's like, look, just keep your emotions under control right now. Keep your heart contained. And once this breakthrough happens, once you get across this finish line, then you can let your heart, then you can feel all your feelings. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll sleep for a while, Then you can let it all out. Then you can, release all of those emotions that had to be kind of contained until we get that goal. So I think this is a very poignant card right now. We're going to do an extended reading. I hope you'll join me. There's a button right below. Hit the join button. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We're going to do oracle cards. We will clarify love and money. And we'll do the yes/no coin. Scorpio, I thank you. I love you. And we're all in this together.